Leaks and rumors and speculation are swirling around the specs, the pricing, and the range of the Cybertruck. And with only 24 hours to wait, I think I'll let others engage in those guesses and just wait until we have something official. Bond yields are down to 4.276 right now and falling, getting really close to my 4.25, would you say? Anyway, Tesla continues to rally in the early going. This is Randy Kirk. This is the time when you hit like. Everybody, right together now. Everybody hit like. I know you're resisting. You don't want to hit like, but hit like anyway. It sure helps. It's one of the ways you can help support the station. What is the channel? That's what we call it, a channel. Anyway, and then if you could hit subscribe and notify, I have now confirmed Bradford Ferguson will be helping us out with Good News Thursday. So he'll be helping to report on all the things that took place on Thursday. I've also got Brian White will be reporting from Austin at some point, probably on Thursday. That's what I'm encouraging him to do, but it might turn out to be sometime on Friday that he gives us his report. And I will probably do a summary episode later today, kind of setting up the event tomorrow. So those are good reasons to hit notify. If you haven't bought one yet, you can buy. Remember, you can buy these on Amazon. So you can pay extra. You can pay $29.95 on Amazon. You can pay $25 for one, $22.50 each for two, which is $45, or even less than that. I could do the math, but it's under $22 if you buy three at $45, freight included. If you're outside the country, please add $20 for freight. And then, of course, this is, you want to let me know camo or stainless. All right, that's it for that. Let's move on. Let's get into the news. Now, I'm going to say one thing about tomorrow at this point, and that is about the range. I do hope that the two-motor version has over 300 miles of range. This is not because I'm going to care about our own unit. We don't need over 300 miles of range for what we do. But I do think that it's going to be a trigger number. Elon has talked about this a lot. So I'm going to be surprised if it's less than 300 miles on the 300. I'm sorry, in the two-motor version. Maybe even in the high 300s. So that's the one. I know everybody's going to be looking at certain things tomorrow. That's the one that I'm most interested in. It looks like there are some surprises coming tomorrow, in particular, maybe on accessories. I would think accessories will be a big, big piece of the business, but it's not really something that's going to contribute meaningfully to the bottom line. But I think they'll have some fun accessories maybe being announced tomorrow. That's what I'm seeing. The Biden administration is trying to find a way to change the rules on battery sourcing for BEVs in 2024. I'm sure you're aware that in order for BEVs to qualify for the full $7,500 subsidy starting in 2024, the batteries can't come from some countries, mainly China. Okay. Therefore, the Model 3 standard range would not qualify for the full $7,500. It would only have a $3,750 discount. At least that's what Elon has been warning folks. But if this rule were to change, then it would be back to getting the full $7,500. It affects other cars as well, but it seems very unlikely to me that this can be changed without a change in the legislation. Apparently, the Biden administration is talking to Treasury, and they're trying to figure out ways to finagle and get this to happen. But Manchin, who you may remember was a key to getting this bill passed because he wanted certain restrictions, including these raw material sourcing provisions. Manchin has said he'll do everything he can, including helping people to sue the government if they try to change this without the legislature. So this will be interesting to see how all that unwinds in the next 30 days. Dan Ives this morning. By the way, he goes on X. If you want to find Dan Ives, he's under DIVES Tech, Dives Tech. Okay, or D Ives Tech is another way I guess you could look at it. Anyway, he says, red carpet event, Cybertruck tomorrow with Musk unveiling. Updated pricing will come out at Thursday's event. Whisper numbers for the single motor are in the $50,000 range, with prices for the dual and tri-motor variants likely to be in the $60,000 to $80,000 range. he didn't really take much of a risk on giving us those whisker numbers. Anyway, this is the important part. He says the halo effect is key. All right. And then Charlie Bilello, I think we've quoted him a couple of times before from X. He says the U.S. money supply fell 3.3 over the last year, a record 11th consecutive month with a year-over-year decline. GOP, that's something I've been paying attention to. This is, again, where I'm very, very concerned is the money supply and also the money velocity. Larry Goldberg, is always talking about the velocity. These are two things that could cripple the market, even if nothing else does. I mean, everything else seems to be going along great, but if you run out, if there's not enough cash moving through the system, it can be devastating. He goes on to say the GDP revision was up to 5.2%, even stronger than the first report, which was, I think, 4.8%. Might have been 4.9. I can't remember for sure. And then he says the U.S. trade balance was, this is me actually reporting. The U.S. trade balance was slightly more negative than expected at almost $90 billion. Barron's is coming in this morning, says the narrative that waning inflation will allow the Fed to cut interest rates next year continues to dominate, with momentum continuing for stocks following remarks from a governor at the central bank. Christopher Waller, who typically strikes a more aggressive tone on monetary policy, said Tuesday that he was increasingly confident that policy is currently well positioned to slow the economy and get inflation back to 2%, which is the Fed's target. Comments from usually hawkish Fed policymaker that there could be room for cuts to interest rates if the price spiral keeps heading in the right direction looks to push Wall Street higher at the open, said Susanna Streeter, an analyst at broker Hargraves Lansdowne. So yes, this is certainly my expectation. This is the direction I'm looking for from Market Watch. Continuing, one of the biggest expectations for the coming year is that the Fed will pivot to cuts in 2024. Our call of the day is from hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, somebody I respect, who doesn't disagree, saying that it needs to be done. I think the market expects sometime middle of next year. Ackman says, I think it's more likely as early as Q1. The founder and CEO of Pershing Square Capital Management said, I agree. March is my number. I think it's going to happen in March, first cut. Love to have it happen sooner than that, but March is what I think is going to happen. The market is currently pricing in a 41% chance of the rate cut by March, according to the CME FedWatch tool that derives rate probabilities off of trading and Fed funds future contracts. Peter Schiff is saying the inflation war is lost and the rates will remain high. But Ed Yardeni is saying inflation will drop to 2.2 to 2.5% within 12 to 18 months. I think both of these estimates will not age well. Inflation will drop much faster, and interest rates are headed to 3.25 within 2024 and maybe first half of 2024, earlier than the end of 2024. Truflation is now sitting at 2.89 this morning. Keep in mind that tomorrow we have the PCE. So that is going to be critical in this entire thing. There's a big debate raging on X this morning over the huge move by General Motors. They increased their dividend and they're doing a major stock buyback. Gary Black says this is a positive move, and the market agrees, giving GM a 10% boost this morning. A bunch of folks jumped on the statement by Gary Black as actually being evidence of the beginning of a death march. So I didn't have time to think it through. I'm not sure I'd even have an opinion on this, but what do you think? Is this the beginning of a death spiral for General Motors, or is this actually a showing of strength? I'd be curious to hear what you have to say. All right, let's look at the numbers. What is happening right now? We have got Tesla over $250, almost $251, up $4.18. We have got the Dow Jones up $52, the NASDAQ up $131, and the S&P up 28. Let's put those into percentages. And whoops, I just messed that up. So we have got the Dow up 0.13. NASDAQ up almost a full percent at 0.91, and the S&P up 0.62. Tesla up 1.72, almost going to 251 now. We have the Magnificent Seven, a little mixed this morning. Microsoft and Meta are actually down in this strong up market. No idea why. Don't have time to figure that one out. And then all of the Cathie Wood stocks are in the green strongly this morning because, of course, with bonds dropping rapidly, this is helping the Cathie Woods for sure. All right, let's go on and take a look at the rest of the situation right now. We have got we've got the Bitcoin down 369 this morning, but still it's at almost 38,000. We have got the dollar rising a little bit from a 3-month low, but it's going to be a bad month for the dollar when all the numbers are finally in. We have gold up another $6 this morning, 2,046. We've got oil gaining another almost $1 at 77.32. But remember, it's a very good price. I'm guessing that it's coming up a little bit, $1 at a time here, because people are thinking that Saudi Arabia is going to get their way tomorrow. By the way, there was a headline this morning that said Saudi Arabia is considering being willing to trade in currencies other than the dollar. I did not read the article, but it was an interesting headline. Nat gas, everything, all these are up a little bit this morning. Oh yeah, we always take a look now at copper. Copper's up like 0.009 cents, 0.24%. Certainly in good shape there, right in the middle of its trading range. And then we have bonds now at 2.67, only 0.017 away from my 4.25. And then I think actually it's going to go even lower than that, but it is dropping. So it's the 10-year is down almost 7 basis points this morning. Let's see what the other, we've got the 2-month down. Actually, it's almost flat at 0.003 down. And we have got the 2-year, it is down 10 basis points this morning at 4.63. That is starting to narrow the gap again a little bit on the inversion. Okay, going back to Tesla real quick. Tesla now is up 2%, has passed the 251 to 251.66. So, as I am wont to do, yeah, I think Tesla will finish in the green today. Will it finish up this much or a little more? That's a good, who knows, but I do think we will see more FOMO today as we go into tomorrow's event. All the activity around this event has been very positive. Yes, there's the regular characters that are running headlines like Tesla's problems have only just begun on the Cybertruck. But in general, the mood around the event tomorrow is very positive in the news. And so I think we'll continue to see FOMO today and early tomorrow. And then we'll see, as we talked about the other day, what happens on Thursday and Friday is always going to depend on, at least partially, on the event. But if we do, let's say if we get up to, say, 260 today or something like that, or 260 tomorrow before the actual event starts, we could have a sell on the news with that kind of a move. We can have a sell on the news even if everything goes great at the event. Now, what I'm looking for is some really cool surprise that would cause the market to keep going, or some really cool videos coming out from some of the influencers like we did after the launch of the Model 3 Plus. All right, let's see. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, yeah, we certainly want to talk about tomorrow's event, how I'm planning today and tomorrow. Let me remind you again to hit like right now. Did you hit like earlier? Well, then hit it. Don't do it twice, but hit it now if you didn't do it earlier. Hit subscribe and notify. Okay, here's the schedule. Later today, I think I'm going to do a setup for tomorrow. I'm going to look at all the aspects of tomorrow, where you can watch it, how you can watch it, what to look for, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's what I'm going to do. Don't hold me to it. Something might happen between now and noon that's way, way more important. Then we have the regular programming tonight as we look at the day's financial situation and Tesla news of the day. And then tomorrow morning, regular morning program tomorrow afternoon. Probably Brian White reporting from the field sometime tomorrow afternoon. And then we've got Bradford Ferguson doing the final on Good News Thursday night, and that'll be his regular spot. He'll be the co-host of that show going forward. Once again, if you haven't bought it yet, time to buy it. Just information is below in the description on the quantity breaks and exactly, you send it to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, 25 for 1, 45 for 2, and 65 for 3. And remember, camo are stainless. Okay, after all of that, just for fun, let's take one last look. We now have Tesla passing 252 on its way to 260. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Will we hit 260 today? That'll be fun. All right. It's been great talking to you.